is another thankful Thursday in the land of the living. Good morning, 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 good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, BT, Martinique, whichever part of the Tri-Island you are, a bright and prosperous, thankful Thursday to each and every one of you. It is November 19th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV, channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and Hot 98.5, 98.7. To the folks joining us across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a bright, spicy morning to you. And those of you tuned in internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Let's do this. This morning's word of the day is Imagineer. Imagineer. I-M-A-G-I-N-E-E-R. Imagineer. It's a noun which means a person who is skilled in implementing creative ideas into practical form. There must be many millions of people who watched the TV show Mickey Mouse Club, which began airing in 1955. And these same fans of Mickey Mouse Club may also associate the word Imagineer with the designers of Walt Disney's theme parks. Imagineer, a blend of imagine and engineer, predates Disneyland by a good dozen years, first appearing in print on June 1st, 1942, just before the Battle of Midway in the very darkest days of World War II, in an upbeat advertisement. That's this morning's word of the day, Imagineer. I-M-A-G-I-N-E-E-R. It is a noun which means a person who is skilled in implementing creative ideas into practical form. Examples of the use of the word: Bernie and Connie are Imagineers who make good things happen in Fairbanks. Another example of the use of the word: those who have followed this major Imagineer since early days are looking forward to great things. That's this morning's word of the day, Imagineer, I-M-A-G-I-N-E-E-R, a noun which means a person who is skilled in implementing creative ideas into practical form. And this morning's thought of the day: sometimes the best way to add to your life is to subtract from it. Certain things have to end so better things can begin. Every loss is not a loss. I'll repeat it for the people in the back. Sometimes the best way to add to your life is to subtract from it. Certain things have to end so better things can begin. Every loss isn't a loss. Every loss isn't a loss. It's a word. It's a word. It spoke to me when I saw it this morning, so I said, all right, that's the thought of the day. Sometimes you lose people, you lose things, you lose an effort that you were trying, it didn't get to where you wanted to. But it's not a loss. It's for your betterment. It's adding to your life with that loss. Losing friends, losing family, losing a job, losing a paycheck sometimes can bring better and bigger things for you. So every loss is not a loss. Let's see quite a few things celebrated today. Today it is Integration Day. Integration Day commemorates the birthday of India's first female Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi. Today it is also Rural Health Day, which is an annual event on the third Thursday each November to help us focus on the state of rural healthcare. We celebrate providers, healthcare professionals, and community leaders who keep the spirit of small towns alive in the best way possible. So the folks who don't operate from the main health facilities, like the community centers, medical centers, maybe just your community doctor in the rural parts of the island, today is a day to recognize the work that you do. So thank you and keep it up. Today it is also World Toilet Day. An ode to the commode. November 19th was designated as World Toilet Day by the United Nations General Assembly and is coordinated every year by a partnership between UN Water and governments around the world. So today we talk about the one invention that's kept hidden behind closed doors but is undeniably important, the ode to the commode. That's today, World Toilet Day. Everything has a day. And today, November 19th, it is also International Men's Day. International Men's Day, observed on November 19th, focuses on men's health, improving gender relations, highlighting male role models, and promoting positive expressions of masculinity. It's also an opportunity to recognize men who don't fall into the traditional manifestations of masculinity, such as gay and bisexual men, transgender or masculine non-binary people. It is International Men's Day. Good morning to each and every male in the world, from as young as 1 minute old to as old as, from as young as 1 minute old to as young as 150, whichever age you are in between there. Good morning to each and every man today. If you have the men in your life, your sons, husbands, brothers, cousins, uncles, daddy, give them a special greeting today, special hail up on International Men's Day, celebrated today. Sometimes we don't always appreciate the men in our lives, but today of all days, give it a little extra recognition. Recognize and appreciate the men in your life. Good morning to my father, my brothers, and my husband. Good morning, Mr. Andy Welsh. Bless up your whole self on International Men's Day. And before we go to the news, the Ministry of Infrastructure sent out a news release yesterday of a traffic diversion that will take place in the city today. The ministry would be starting work on building 3 of the St. George's Market, and with that in mind, concrete trucks will be mobilized today. Therefore, traffic will be rerouted from the junction of Halifax Street and Hillsborough Street from 9:30 a.m. That's the street that has the taxi stand. I was going to go by the businesses, but the street with the taxi stand. Therefore, the taxis will be relocated just for today to Upper Granby Street. So those of you who are going into the city, you may be seeing traffic rerouting taking place this morning, especially the motorists. If you could avoid the city as usual, do so. The traffic would be rerouted, which may create problems in the city. So to avoid getting in the mix of it, if you could avoid do so. The rerouting takes place from 9:30 a.m. And that is all. Let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on television, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. This is Good Morning Grenada on Classic GBN Hot 98. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
It's Christmas.
And as we mentioned in the headlines, Carriacou now on the tally with COVID-19. As far as Grenada is concerned overall, it's now case number 36. This as the island records 3 new cases of COVID-19. The Sister Isles of Carriacou affected after being spared by the deadly coronavirus for the last 8 months. The announcement came via press release just after midday on Wednesday. Gerald Joseph has that story.
Residents on the Sister Isles as well as mainland Grenada have been told there is no reason for public panic. They are, however, being cautioned while conducting their daily activities and practices. Case 35 and 36 are 2 males, ages 63 and 64, who arrived at the Carriacou Marina on November 12th from Martinique. They tested positive on the 16th and, according to the release, remain quarantined on their yacht with 2 others. Case 34 is a 62-year-old male who arrived in Grenada from the USA. He was PCR tested as per protocols and remains in quarantine. The release stated that all 6 active cases, as well as the known contacts of cases 31 and 32, are asymptomatic. They remain in quarantine, awaiting further testing and medical clearance. The Ministry of Health is acknowledging all border agents and the frontline airport and health staff as they continue to exercise due care and attention to catch and stop COVID at Grenada's major ports of entry or in quarantine facilities. The Ministry of Health says it expects that open borders will come with positive cases given the proliferation of the virus around the world. The ministry says it is encouraged by the lack of local and community spread of the virus despite the breaches identified in the past. Together with the safety measures, the Ministry of Health believes we can continue to mount the fight against COVID-19. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Grenada's 2020 Carnival celebrations were put off. 2021 in the iffy column. Already, people on the sister islands are being told they will have no kayak mass next year. As per Spice Mass 2021, there's no guarantee. Minister for Infrastructure Norland Cox provided some insight during GBN's To The Point program.
Caracas Carnival, one of the largest income generators for the Sister Isles and which usually attracts an influx of visitors both from the mainland and overseas, will be hard hit for 2021. Acknowledging that COVID-19 is still rampant and has spiked a second time in most European countries, Nolan Cox, Minister for Infrastructure, says having no carnival is government's effort to preserve lives.
It is clear, based on what is happening now, with all our source markets where a number of in the diaspora, the cases are going up. And obviously that puts us more at risk. And it's for that reason, if you understand that Trinidad, who has Carnival at the same time together with Grenada, has also cancelled their Carnival somewhat. I don't think I've done it officially as yet. So everything is done, everything is done in the interest of saving lives.
He says he is assured that persons on the Sister Isles would welcome government's decision. That is
the reason. So I am certain that Caracoans will understand. I believe that they might be happy that there is no Carnival. They are very concerned, even just about persons from Grenada coming to Caracas, let alone persons coming from a trove of people coming from overseas for Carnival. So I believe that they are very happy with that decision to postpone Carnival or cancel this year.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell also spoke to the cancellation of Caracas Carnival for 2021 on Wednesday morning. He told the nation that it would not be wise to host the carnival activities, considering the current climate created by the pandemic.
We're advising our brothers and sisters in Caracas that it's not wise to have Carnival 2021 in Caracas this time. And hopefully we leave the question of Caracas, of the Spice Mass for 2021 in August up in the air still. My own bet might not be the best thing to have it, but since we expect a vaccine to be on the market at the time early next year sometime, I don't want to pronounce, and I do believe we need consultation with our people in a general sense in making a decision as far as Spice Mass is concerned. But I think the people of Caracas, and generally speaking, the people of Grenada, Caracas, understand that 2021 Carnival in Caracas in February is certainly not wise.
Government officials say an official statement on government's decision will be provided at a later date, either from the Minister for Caracas and PT Martinique Affairs, Kindra Maturin Stewart, or Minister for Culture, Yolan Bain Horsford. Christelina John, GBN News.
A marijuana bill could well be on its way to Parliament in the not-too-distant future. Rena Pear brings us the details.
The decriminalization of marijuana in Grenada continues to be one of the frequent questions asked during government's weekly town hall meeting throughout the island. Last July, government with the rest of the OECS region agreed that they will determine the path they will pursue based on the country's circumstances, based on the model presented by the Regional Marijuana Commission. All heads of government agreed that they will review the current status of marijuana as a dangerous drug with a view to reclassification, taking into account all international obligations. Prime Minister and Minister for National Security Dr. Keith Mitchell, at a town hall meeting in the south of the island on Tuesday night, announced that a committee is now set up to develop a bill that will determine the decriminalization process.
We have established a committee locally here to move in that direction and to take, and right now a bill is being prepared to look at our interpretation of how we go forward with the whole question of marijuana. What level of decriminalization we think that should take place within Grenada, how it is done, what do we allow, and what we would certainly recommend. That is coming forward, and of course the public would get the information accordingly. But we are moving to decriminalize some aspects of the use of marijuana.
The Prime Minister is reminding the public that while this is being done, they must remember the danger in the use of marijuana.
I'm against the use of cigarette smoking because I believe it's health. It's against our health. It hurts us. It affects your lungs and all aspects. A lot of cancer has been developed because of the abuse of cigarette. Similarly, if you abuse alcohol, it can be dangerous for your body. Similarly, if you abuse, let's suppose you decriminalize some aspects of marijuana and you go to excessive lengths, it can be dangerous too.
A survey which was done in Grenada in 2018 indicated that over 60% of Grenadians welcomed the decriminalization or legalization of cannabis in Grenada. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
And now to a question, whether Grenada is setting itself up for a soft or a hard landing with the airport development project. Let's get more on this from Sherry Blackman-Stevens.
Smooth or hard landing was the topic used by a panel engaged in discussions on government's plans to expand and upgrade the Morris Bishop International Airport. The program was broadcasted on GBN Tuesday night. The loan financing by the People's Republic of China in excess of $67 million and the possible implications of the loan were the focus of the discussion. Head of the Grenada movement, economist Patrick Antwine, says the agreement to this project as is should make all Grenadians uncomfortable.
I'm saying the risk assessment, it just doesn't appear to have been done well. And I'm not saying that the facility should not, I'm answering the second part, be drawn down on, that no work should be done at the airport has never been the argument. The argument is that if you do the risk assessment and you do the value model, value for money, you then ask the question, what components of this are absolutely critical now? Go with those components and perhaps stage or phase the other components for later.
The work plan for the MBIA will be undertaken by China Harbour Construction Engineering Company and will include resurfacing of the runway, construction of a parallel taxiway, loading bridges, a bypass road, passenger terminals, a second apron for cargo, and an emergency center. Management consultant Abraham Lester Andel says there is pre-COVID opportunities and COVID reality, which he hopes government is assessing.
Of speculating, and at this level, speculating on this kind of investment is not really good. People should know. People are worried about the airport if it happens that the government cannot pay the debt and the airport goes into default. As we said, probably they cannot take the airport, but it means significant things to the psyche of Grenadians. Now, as Dr. Antoine said, probably we have gone too far to pull back on this one. But in any situation like this where there are loans, probably there is always the notion that you can renegotiate because there are concerns that have since emerged relating to specific issues. And I really don't think that, sometimes it's an open and shut deal, but it may well be.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell brushed aside concerns that failure on government's part to repay the loan could result in the Chinese government laying hands on the country's gateway to the world.
I'm amazed. Even this morning I'm listening to the minister on the program and a question being asked about the possibility of China taking over Grenada, major infrastructure, because of one loan. Where we really poor, One loan and a country can lose its entire birthright. We ain't so cheap. It's amazing. The propaganda of a way of getting into the minds if we do not confront it appropriately.
Ambassador to the People's Republic of China to Grenada, Zhao Yongsheng, is also confident that Grenada can meet its financial obligation. The airport project was first announced in the 2018 budget presentation by Prime Minister Mitchell. This was the Grenada movement's third forum addressing issues of national importance. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
And now we close off the segment with a note from the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Transportation. The note says that the department has commenced work on building 3 of the St. George's Market. In this regard, concrete trucks will be mobilized on Thursday, November 19th. As a result, traffic will be rerouted from the junction of Halifax Street and Hillsborough Street from 9:30 on Thursday morning. Taxis operating from that section of Halifax Street will be allowed to operate from the upper level at Granby Street. That's the upper end of Granby Street. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development has apologized for any inconvenience caused and anticipates people's usual cooperation in this matter. A Grenadian woman in the United Kingdom is making headlines in a British newspaper. Her story has come to the fore as she faces discrimination, but it's not because of her skin color. She has a physical challenge and has encountered a series of issues. Her story services just as the Grenada Broadcasting Network, GBN, shines a light on people who are shunned and otherwise ignored by society. We bring you those reports through the Untold Stories segment. President of the Grenada National Council of the Disabled is calling on people to show love and support for those with special needs. And tonight, we put that under the microscope.
Throughout the world, many will hear of stories like 38-year-old Grenadian Sabrina Joseph, who lives in the southeast of London. Joseph was diagnosed with spina bifida at age 9, resulting in scoliosis in her spine, muscle wastage, and weakness in her legs. As a result, she walks with a gait, and one leg is approximately 2 inches shorter than the other. In a recent article published by an online news outlet called Metro, Sabrina says that the level of discrimination she experienced leaves her heartbroken and humiliated at times, leaving her to feel more disabled, and her sense of self is questioned. Who could forget 9-year-old Leishon Depredine, who also has scoliosis? The grade 4 student who was recently featured on GBN spoke of being bullied by schoolmates.
All of them, every day, Trian man, they call me Trian man, Crookan, Benhan. But sometimes I just ignore them.
Stories like Leishon's and Sabrina are told so that others can understand the pain that is inflicted by words and comments. Herman Mello Peters, president of the Grenada National Council of the Disabled, says that everyone is equal and should be treated as such.
I think about my time when I was growing up and when I got disabled. I be bullied a little bit, but it didn't bother me much. But as I grow up along the time and I see the way people handling disabled people, it can annoy me a lot. Well, I like to see society love them just like another child on the road, It's not nice when you have a form of disability and then somebody making fun of you. Even they're making fun in a joke is in a way, but every time they see you, they tell you that you're disabled and look so and so. While they go in a corner, it's kind of going to drop you down. So I'm pleading to not only in Grenada, but for this whole world, let's treat disabled people as one.
He reminds the public that persons with disabilities need love and that kind words can go a long way. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
And as a follow-up, to be pointed out is the fact that according to a report by the United Nations Human Rights Office Commission in 2019, over 650 million people around the world live with disabilities on the margins of society, often encountering discrimination through their childhood and their adult lives. We hope that these stories help us to stop, take note, and be kind to people with physical challenges. And now we're moving on, making a positive impact. Young men of the Empower Project are making what some consider a positive impact on their society. Over the past 3 months, they've received help with the development of their skills. More in this Christina John report.
Glenn Alexander has been leading the charge as facilitator of the Empower program for St. George's Southeast. He says the positive contributions made by these young adults must be recognized, as they are usually branded in the negative.
We cannot give up. It's 7 to 1, or it could even be more. And we know generally the feeling is that young men are no good. And we know all the negative connotation associated with that. While they are not perfect, of course, I think the young men have been trying to keep head above water in the community, and that is what we need with all the other Empower groups around the island. I think even Carriacou is included.
As part of their training, Alexander says he saw it fitting to allowing them to interact with both the young and elderly. The group of 15 young men who were deemed at risk recently embarked on some community initiatives. Alexander highlights.
To end this aspect, we did it twofold. One with a focus on the youth, and another as it relates to the elderly. So we went off to the Falamalagan home, spent an evening with them, and the young men put together the package and presented a hamper to them. They also had a motivational talk. I also visited and work along and partner with members of the community to do a cleanup of the environment of one Miss Charleston in the Hopefield area. When we look at her situation, there are lots of things to be done, and for us it's not going to be a one-off. We hope to visit soon again to do whatever assistance is needed for them.
The Empower facilitator says he has seen the growth of these young men in the past 3 months.
Of course, you know, at that age, the issue of being in a class all the time might be a no-no for them. So we have done different things. We have gone to the fort. We have utilized the fort in Richmond Hill. We have gone fishing. We have done cooking. We have done concerts. Basically to bring out in them and to test their skills from what they have learned. We have seen who are the cooks among us. We have seen who are the leaders. We have seen who are the followers. And I think this group of young men really did well this time around.
The project, which caters for young men, covers aspects of self-management, healthy lifestyles, conflict resolution, decision-making, STDs and SDIs, among other areas. Christina John, GBN News.
And we continue with our coverage of issues related to transportation in the country. The oversaturation of buses on the Grand Anse Main Road continues to be a major issue. Bus operators are once again calling on the authorities to stop issuing stickers for that route. Infrastructure Minister Nolan Cox says the matter will be tackled by the newly developed Transport Commission.
Government is hoping to have the National Transport Commission up and fully functioning by early next month, and one of their first orders of business is to give consideration to a request made by bus drivers who ply the Grand Anse route. Minister of Transport Senator Nolan Cox says an appeal has been made to government by some of the drivers to cease the issuance of new bus stickers for that route, seeing as it is already overcrowded and traffic congestion in the south of the island remains a problem. He says, however, the decision is not an easy one to make, as all aspects of the argument need to be looked at, and that will be done by the soon-to-be formed Transport Commission.
Should we have a quota for a route? And so this is the reason why you want to have a commission in place. If you add more persons, then in effect, some persons will go out of business, and it creates a problem for themselves and their families. So that is one. The next thing is that we know for a fact that there are operators who have more than one bus on that particular route. I don't know if we should say that only one person should have a bus on any particular route. I don't know if it is fair to do that. If somebody could afford, I don't know if it is fair to limit them in that case, or to tell them, well, you take off one so that somebody else could get in. I don't know.
Senator Cox acknowledges that the Grand Dance route remains the area with the largest number of bus operators across the state.
The issue of congestion on the route, that may render some persons their business not making money. In some cases, insolvent. Some may have to come off the road or go on a different route. And we have maybe about 25 to 30 prospective operators who would have purchased buses, go to the bank, wherever, take their loan, purchase buses, and cannot get a bus sticker. Because through this transition process, we had ceased issuing until we finalize that. Those discussions is what stakeholders, together with the Commission, will have to sit down and flesh out and work out a manner in which it would be best for the operators, but at the same time, within the remit of the law.
Figures from a traffic survey done a few years ago show that between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. there are over 35,000 vehicles plying the nation's roads, especially along the Grand Dance St. George route. However, records show that in 2020, that number has increased by almost 40%. Blossom Alexis-Welsh, GBN News.
And welcome back. It was a day of giving and generosity at the General Hospital on Wednesday morning. The Grenada National Council of the Disabled gifted institution with 200 pairs of shoe coverings and 20 sitz baths. GNCD coordinator Hilary Gabriel says as a non-profit organization, they're always on the receiving end, and as such, they saw it fit to share the blessings.
You give. So when you give, you get again, and you get abundantly. So this morning's presentation is to the hospital. We received this stuff, and we want to thank the Caritas Foundation because we have a good working relationship with them. We received these items. When we went through to record our stock, we realized we have no use for them, and instead of keeping it to make cobweb, we decided to donate it to the hospital.
Nola Definish, Departmental Manager at the Obstetric and the Operating Theatre, that's the Obstetric Ward and Operating Theatre, and Manager Sister Sherman Barris accepted the items on behalf of the Ministry of Health. They assured the GNCD that their generous contribution will go positively hand in hand with what they're trying to achieve at this time.
And this is what we call a sisbat basin. As you see the name on the box, this is used mainly in maternity ward for patients that would have got tears during their delivery. Sometimes we have maybe as much as 5 patients needing sisbat, and with a few we may have to wash and reuse. Although they're reusable, but we can give all 5 at one time if we have enough. So now that we get some, we're able to do that. And I really want to thank Ms. Gabriel and her team for that.
The shoe covers are being used for personnel and also for patients entering the operating theatre to provide a sterile feel so that we were able to operate our surgeries under sterile conditions. And it comes at a very opportune time as we seek to provide care and services for our patients as we do approximately 200 and plus surgeries monthly. So we want to say thank you very much. As of today, the shoe covers will be in use.
And celebrating Christmas in the year 2020 with COVID-19 will continue to cause some kind of change. That's exactly what the Rotary Club of Grenada is doing as it seeks to ensure its hosting of the annual Carols by Candlelight event is successful this year. This year's event is billed Christmas at the Point. Rena Pay will tell us more.
Christmas at the Point will be held at Quarantine Point Recreational Park from Sunday, November 22nd until Sunday, January 3rd, 2021, with nightly light attractions for families and friends during the holiday season. The park and its attractions will open nightly from 5:30 p.m. to midnight, so patrons can experience the beauty of the park without crowding. Christmas at the Point will feature Monica Benoit Christmas Wonderland of Lights display, movie nights in the park, reruns of previous concerts, along with specialty foods, bar, and other attractions, all on the safe, approved COVID-19 space. Colin Francis, Vice President of Rotary Club St. George, in a phone interview with GBN, gave an insight as to what Grenadians can expect.
What the public can expect is a very grand display of lights. We've seen lights before at Carols by Candlelight. I think this year you're in for a very special treat as it relates to the lighting and what we've done together with the Benoit family, and really getting and putting lights out there and making sure everyone, despite the circumstances, feel the Christmas cheer.
Francis is encouraging everyone to come out and get into the Christmas spirit.
So we're encouraging the public to come out, have some fun. It's been a very trying year for many of us, so we're encouraging them all to come out, enjoy the Christmas cheer, enjoy the show that we're going to put on for the public at Quarantine Park, and come with the intention of following all COVID protocols, because we will be strict on the protocols in place as set out by the local authorities.
He also reiterated that the event will raise funds for the Rotary Club community projects and for the maintenance of Quarantine Point Recreational Park. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
Rubis is giving you more ways to win because you deserve it. Spend $50 or more in Ultratech fuel or purchase a Rubigas refill at any Rubis service station and get an entry card. Win one of 5 amazing grand prizes worth $2,500, including Ultratech fuel, cash, groceries, bill payment vouchers, and home furnishings. Each grand prize winner gets to donate $500 to charity too. Plus, win exciting weekly prizes, including electronics. Make sure you're in with a chance to win. Win with Rubis. You deserve it.
Whenever we're faced with difficulties, we find comfort in those we know and trust. This is especially true when a loved one has died.
Welcome to Otway Bailey Funeral Home.
For over 100 years, Otway Bailey Funeral Home has helped families celebrate the lives of their loved ones with compassion and dignity. Our affordability, attention to detail, warm and caring staff has contributed us being the funeral home of choice for official and state funerals. We treat you as we would treat our own family. All of our services are designed to help you get through one of the most personal and challenging stages of life, whether it's planning a funeral, joining our burial society, or pre-arrangements. You can be assured of the Otway Bailey commitment to consistently provide the most caring and professional service possible with the best options and price. So call us 440-2558 or visit our website, otwaybaileyfuneralhome.org.
At Otway Bailey, we offer the perfect tribute any family can afford.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Bruv. Hello? I can't see you. What's good? But I can't even hear you. Yo. Hello? Hello? Ah. Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in. Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Boy, long are you up here with, you say you're coming in 2 twos, But I know what you're doing down there, You dare down there turning around as foul as one to lay.
No, it's not that. I leave down there early, but I pass in the bank. When I reach in the bank, people like peas. When I leave the bank coming up now, the road tie up.
Typical Grenadian talk.
You want to hear more of this, folks? Join us this Friday at 8 for We Culture. Don't miss it.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada, 20.5 minutes after 7 o'clock. Those of you just joining us, good morning to you. Better late than never. Welcome. It's time for Talk the Things Thursday. Before we get into it, just want to send a special good morning to all the bus drivers and bus conductors across the country, whichever route you traverse, whichever part of the island you are. Those of you tuned into Classic Hot 98, good morning to each and every one of you. I know there are a few people who tune in every morning loyally, and I thank you so much for your listenership. Thank you so much for letting your passengers tune in to Good Morning Grenada. Appreciate it. Good morning to you. Be safe out there. All right, let's get into this morning's Talk the Things Thursday. This morning, the topic on the front line, it was revealed. Yes, it was revealed yesterday by the Minister of Infrastructure, Senator Nolan Cox, that they are hoping to have the new Transport Commission up and running by the first week or the early next month, God willing. What are you hoping would be the first orders of business of the newly or to be formed Transport Commission? There are a few things that they will be responsible for, but let's give them a heads up before they start to do what they need to be doing and let them know what the members of the public want them to tackle. Landline 435-2041, WhatsApp 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. No voice or video calls, no voice notes. Don't send me a picture of a transport. Don't send me a picture of a bus not on the bus stop. Don't send me a YouTube link to anything bus related. Just take your time and type out what you want the Transport Commission to tackle. You can also participate on Facebook and YouTube. Talk the Things Thursday. What are you hoping would be the first orders of business for the soon to be launched Transport Commission? First caller this morning. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, Gotham.
Good morning. How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right, go ahead.
I have to get some time to think about that, but I just want to celebrate all the men because it is International Men's Day. And something I tried to get to yesterday for the entire duration on the mid-morning program, but I didn't get to because I wanted to ask about, yesterday was November 18th. We marked as Bloody Sunday, November 18, 1973. That is Bloody Sunday when Maurice Bishop and his colleagues were beaten up in Grenville. I didn't hear that mentioned yesterday. I don't know if you stated. And the other thing I want to mention is I looked and I saw on the obituaries the death of Carol Vasquez. I mean, she was such a nice person. I was really saddened, and I just want to extend condolences to all our friends and relatives. Have a good day now. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. You have yourself a good day. No, I did not mention Bloody Sunday. It slipped my mind. We did mention Miss Vasquez's passing a few, should I say weeks? Yeah, I think it was about a week and something, a few days ago. So thank you for that, caller. And once again, happy International Men's Day to all the men across the country. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom, and to all your followers.
Morning.
Well, I thought I was holding out some hope for this commission, but all that hope was dashed yesterday when I heard the minister responsible state that they have no intention, and he doesn't think that it would be prudent to limit the number of buses on the route. This is ridiculous. There is chaos. And you'd think that a commission like that, which is supposed to be regulatory in terms of its duty, that's what I'm hearing. I'm not sure. I've not seen the terms of reference. But you're saying that you cannot regulate? I mean, I knew the time when if you had a hired vehicle, taxi or minibus, and you sold it, you can, and someone purchased it, they don't automatically become a taxi owner. You kept your registration as a taxi owner, and that person had to apply, or that vehicle became a private vehicle. Now you're telling me that with all that chaos and mayhem that takes place in the South, you can't regulate? I hope I heard wrong, but that impression I got, I heard him say that you can tell one person they can have more than one bus, and you can... Well, if you want to leave things as they are, I understand, but moving forward, I don't have any hopes of this commission accomplishing anything worthwhile. To be honest with you, if that is the stance of the person, the policy maker in charge, sad to say, I don't hold that much hope. But what I thought would be the first order of business seems to be off the table. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Good day.
Thank you very much. What the minister did say was that discussion and decision would be made by the commission, and he did point out that he understands both sides of the argument. that one, there may be need to limit the amount of buses on the route, specifically Grandans, or you can have only one bus on the route, whereas on the other hand, he was saying this could restrict the income for some people, and that may be their only source at the time. So that's why he was in two minds about it. He didn't say that it wouldn't take place. He was just saying there were two sides of the argument, and he was not sure which side they should go on. But the commission would be the one to discuss and make a decision. Talk the Things Thursday. What do you think should be the first order of business for the soon-to-be formed Transport Commission? Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Blossom. I'm back because, you know, as the former caller announced, that stated that disappointment with the minister, and I too am disappointed, because one thing he said, I'm reading through the lines, it states clearly that the government here is trying to relieve themselves of the responsibility of taking from decisions as far as that situation is concerned. And so what I see, hey, we're going to set up a commission and we go pass the buck to them. So anything you want to blame the government, blame the commission. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, caller. To be honest, either way, we blame the government. Let's be honest. No matter who makes what decision and what the decision is, the government end up getting the blame anyway. So you never know. Somebody on Facebook says it will be nice if the commission will remove all old vehicles on the side of the roads, causing havoc and breeding rodents. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Blossom.
Morning. I'm good. How you do?
All right. What I have to say is, a small country like Grenada, I think in everything the government's supposed to be taking a leading role. They have some interest. But from one of the busmen speaking yesterday, I heard they said that Grenada Road have 303 buses. So they definitely had to do something with the amount of buses. Because if you check, 60 minutes is 1 hour. And if you have 303 buses running on the road, you have to do a calculation of how they will be run between an hour, how much buses you'll be able to get. So they're working on not properly. They're working in a way that the buses, a lot of them wouldn't make money. So that is what is causing the confusion, where people find buses stopping anyway, they're doing everything. So every day they're running down each other to make a dollar. So that's creating a problem. And also it doing something with the traffic. And among the traffic like vehicle on the road today, I think that is bringing Grenada into a low productive country, because everybody going to have to reach late where they're going to work. So they have to do something about this road traffic in Grenada with the amount of vehicles. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. I agree, the traffic congestion too coconious in the dance. I agree with that part tremendously. But then the question would be, why we might be taking food out of somebody's mouth. Because of the 303, when number 304 comes and they want a bus, we'll tell them no, because that's too much. We're taking food out of somebody's mouth. So that could start to be the argument on the next side, which is what the minister was saying yesterday. Which side of the fence should get the go-ahead? Good morning, caller.
Morning, caller.
Morning.
I'm just hoping with this new transport board, something will be done about the buses that go up Mount Jalou and into Marion. For the elderly folks, they still have to trot up that hill to the top. And it is so hard for them. And I speak from experience because I have an elderly sister that lives in Marion. She's 80 years old. And she does a little shopping, and the mercy of someone most often have to take her up the hill with her little bags of shopping. And so I think even though it is one bus at a time, should be done in the flat, but this idea of these people have to trot up the hill, and Marion has a lot of elderly people, well, not only Marion, but the whole route coming along. And I think something ought to be done. I mean, this has been there for quite a while now, since COVID. And I find some adjustment can be made. One at a time come down or something to facilitate these people. I think it's grossly unfair to them.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Talk the Things Thursday. What do you think should be the first order of business for the soon-to-be-launched Transport Commission? Somebody on WhatsApp says, right. 2 points. Listening to the news this morning, I don't think Grenada has to follow the rest of CARICOM members to increase the retirement age. And yesterday afternoon on the bus terminal, 2 conductors had an altercation which resulted in a fight. One ended up getting stabbed with an ice pick on his hand. What was most amazing, there was a police officer right there at the scene, witnessed the incident and walked away. Thank God another police officer saw what was going on and came to the rescue. That officer that walked away should be suspended for failing to perform. Hopefully somebody could identify him and report him, because if nobody reports him, then he would live to walk away another day. So hopefully, but I speak raining. But hopefully somebody can identify him, whether his colleague or members of the public, so that the necessary reprimand can take place. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, how you do?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay, go ahead.
Concerning the system with the buses, you know, you have other people have a few buses lined up to in their places. Walking is one. And most of them who want to go in the buses, they see the congestion you have already, and they still go into it. And those that go in last, they want to make the big issue. You have too much buses. When you go into a business, you need to look at it, what benefit you have for you. And if there's too much buses already, I don't feel it should be going in.
Thank you so much, caller.
All right.
I think for a lot of people, they're seeing how busy the road is, because Grenadans always have people and activities. So more than likely, you'll pick up, let's say, 1, 2, maybe a full load of people, whether it's going down or coming up. So I think that's what they're seeing. But there are routes that barely have buses, like one of the callers said, Monjaloo. I know Monjaloo has buses, but not as much to always keep the route going. I remember a few years ago there was a complaint about Dabo having, at the time it was, I think, 2 buses. I don't know if that number has increased by now. But what people seeing is that Grenadans is where the busyness is. So that is where I want to be. I think that's what's calling so much people to the south. That could be a problem. Let me see. The phone? 3, 2. Okay, hold on the phone caller. Let me go by WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, from my personal experience, it seems that a significant number of bus conductors are dishonest when they realize that you are a visitor. I visited Grenada 4 times in the last 3 years, and each time I got shortchanged by conductors. I use this as an experiment, knowing the true bus fare. When I pay the correct fare, they don't complain. This is not good for tourists, especially. I am Grenadian. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning. I'm good. How you do?
Pretty quiet.
All right. Go ahead.
Blossom, it's just pathetic that we have this problem with transportation, especially in the St. George's, Grand Trublo area. Why? This thing has that thing has built up over a period of years. Because Grenada's economy, at this point in time, or the main point of Grenada's economy, is St. George's to Trublo or the airport. Therefore, people would go into those areas looking for a means of income. Unfortunately, buses, transportation, the road. Now, how then can the Transport Commission solve that problem? No, Blossom. If the economy throughout Grenada, which means the urban, rural areas, the economy is being spread right through, there will be economic activity. And so buses would not be congested in a particular area. So we have to be forward-thinking, Blossom. We must be forward-thinking as a people, as a nation. As policymakers, it rests upon the shoulder. We must have vision. And it is crucial. I don't think the Transport Commission will solve that problem. If they want to, maybe they will try something temporary and fool the eyes of the blind. But the question is, does Grenada have economic potential? Where are the areas of those economic potential? What are the activities needed to stimulate the growth in those economic potential areas and get people to move and get economic activities? Plus, have a pleasant day. God bless you.
Thank you very much. You have yourself a blessed one as well. Talk the Things Thursday. What are you hoping will be the first order of business of the soon-to-be formed Transport Commission? Somebody on Facebook says, in reference to there being too much buses on the route, we should not prevent people from going into that business. What should happen is send them on another route. But then it's the route that I want to travel. See, it's not as easy as sending them. Remember, it's a private business, and if that's a business they want to go into in terms of the route, then you can't just send them. You can try to convince them. Somebody else on Facebook says, in areas where there are less buses, maybe they should use some of the Grand Dance buses there. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Morning.
Last time, how are you?
I'm good. How you do?
Good enough.
All right.
Now, listen, my little thing is that this my little contribution is that, okay, you have so many buses on the road, right? And still you don't have a proper organized national transport system, you know. And this is what needs to address, right? As you know, as we go forward, because I don't really understand. I mean, look, I just been going in I from St. Andrews, and I just been going. So now 6:30, 7 o'clock, you cannot get a bus where you're going. 6:30, 7 o'clock, you cannot get a bus. You know, I mean, so much of hotels, so much. I mean, so much of different businesses. You know, I mean, going up every day. Hotels, this, that, you know, going up every day. We need to get things in proper perspective, right? We're supposed to, you know, see, okay, like, sit down, say, look, okay, we go do it so, we are going to do it so, we go implement this, we're going to drop out this, we're going to do it, you know, and sit down and work out strategies, work out, I mean, proper things, you know, because the thing about it is, you know, if we don't do things properly, we're going to have 1,001 buses and still we're not going to have a proper organized, you know, a proper organized transport system for the people. So what good is it at the end of the day? I mean, take for instance, right, I don't really want to be so long. Take for instance, okay, and public holidays. Why cannot have, I mean, couple of buses running? You know, people, I mean, if people know, right, buses is available, people is going to avail themselves, you know. People will want to go on, you know, on the beach, to visit, you know, maybe to the hospital, to, you know, different places. People want to go differently, but there isn't transport available. So the buses need to, you know, sit down together and work out, you know, and work out certain things. Say, well, okay, we're gonna have couple buses on a you know, on certain public holidays running, and you know, and you know, we're gonna do it so young, because I mean, you know, things is going forward, things is moving up, so we need to sit down and implement strategy, implement good position, and say, well, okay, we're gonna do it so we go, because I mean, you know, things good. Thank you so much. And I guess somebody on WhatsApp is thinking along your lines. They said, I hope to see public transportation 24/7. We're going to get back. Actually, no, let me read this comment here. Somebody else on the WhatsApp says, you see, we want the police at our convenience. Who knows why he walked away? We're going to take a quick break and then come back inside with some more Talk the Things Thursday. This is GBN Classic Hot 98.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Rubis is giving you more ways to win because you deserve it. Spend $50 or more in Ultratech fuel or purchase a Rubigas refill at any Rubis service station and get an entry card. Win one of 5 amazing grand prizes worth $2,500, including Ultratech fuel, cash, groceries, bill payment vouchers, and home furnishings. Each grand prize winner gets to donate $500 to charity too. Plus, win exciting weekly prizes, including electronics. Make sure you're in with a chance to win. Win with Rubis. You deserve it.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Protect your...
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now 16 minutes on to 8 o'clock. Talk to Things Thursday. What do you think should be the first order of business of the soon-to-be-formed Transport Commission? Back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How you do?
I am humble in the name of the Lord.
Amen. Go ahead.
Blossom, you know what I think is the biggest problem in this bus business, right? Number one, right? The government is not putting things in place to help busmen, because they boast at the end of the year how much money they're making from busman in ticket, right? Now, what they have to do is all the buses that comes from the country, right? They're leaving the route and come down to Granans, because Granans is a busy route, Granans have money, and they're leaving the people undone and come down. They come down in morning with a load, they walk down Granans, and they go up in evening time with a load. And the next day you would hear they come and boast and say how much money they're making. You understand? What the government have to do is to put things in place that a lot of these buses go back up. You put down proper bus shed and so on, that the people could use the bus stop. use the bus stop. If you check from Ghana to Tongue, Blossom, how many bus stops you have from Ghana to Tongue? How much bus shed? Sorry, it have bus stops, not bus shed. And the government would never put things in place because they want 1,001 bus come on Ghana Road, so they will get the opportunity to charge the busmen so they can make a money at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Somebody on Facebook says the caller is, the previous caller, the one before the break, the caller is right. Crapo, smoke your pipe if 6 p.m. take you in Grenville. Somebody else on Facebook says maybe we need new routes like Tempe to Tantine, Woodlands to Grandance, etc. That Woodlands to Grandance comment I saw, I believe, on the WhatsApp as well. Somebody on WhatsApp said we need a route. There we go. Provide a route for Woodlands to Grandance. See, memory serves me right. I'm good with the memory. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, I am hoping they would evaluate or review the transportation and routes of the public transportation. Example, if Route 1 is overcrowded, applicants could be offered another route. Grandance Valley to Woodlands, Springs to Woodlands seem to be an increasing demand for transport. I would also like to see them do something about the shops and boutiques in the bus shelters. I especially agree with the shops. Is two roast corn in the bus shed? Is two. I mean, I know everybody had to make $1, but somebody else on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says Monjaloo is a slow route, so I don't think it needs more buses. But then the people who can get buses would tend to differ. Like the caller mentioned, there are elderly citizens who, when they're finished, they can't get a bus and is trek up the hill. So somebody might differ. Good morning, caller.
Morning to you, Blossom.
Morning, how you do?
Not too bad, and you?
I'm good. Go ahead.
What an exciting conversation this morning. Blossom, my input into that conversation this morning is that first, what I would like to see the commission do is to get back to the beginning of that zoning aspect of buses and so forth throughout the state. A lot of things that is happening now should have never get into play if they had followed exactly the strategy and the system that had been set up. And I would just like to trash out at least two valid points that is taking the airwave this morning. One of it is the congestion of the buses in the various routes, especially Grandland. There were everything laid on the table in due on the spite for the congestion of the buses. When this zoning thing started, the first thing that came down on the table was how to attack the congestion of the buses. And the commission, I think, should go back, especially have some conversation with the Honorable Minister Bowen. And you have ex-Assistant Commissioner of ex-Assistant Commissioner Smith Roberts. I think he's retired now. They has a great part played on that because Granan's buses was the first buses that attacked within the zoning. And I'll give you two examples, which I hear what caller is referring to now. The first one is that to avoid the congestion, it was set up that the people that would have applied the route in the south of the island should have been either resident of the south of the island or would have been living in the south of the island for a particular period of time. I think it would have been about 5 years. They would have also given the opportunity to the people that were flying buses on the zone prior to regulating it, right? However, that started and it didn't continue. And as one previous caller said, if you go back now and you look at Grenada's route, I was listening to a conversation beyond the headline the other day, and the president was saying they have over 300 and something buses flying Grenada's route. If you're going to do the math, out of that 300 and something buses, I would guarantee you that 80 to 85% of the buses flying Grenada's route, the owners and the drivers does not reside in the south.
Okay.
That's one fact of it, right? And that was something when it started, because I was involved. I'm not in the bus anymore. But that was something that was one of our biggest concerns.
Okay.
The last caller a while ago stated that bus drivers coming from their route, because there is money in Grenada, come down, walk down here throughout the day, and arrive back in the village and bus. It's true. And that was something that we attacked early in the game, and something that we didn't want to move forward. So we didn't have no chance to bring that forward today. The other thing is...
Very quickly.
Sorry. Sorry, I drifted with my point. The other thing is, some caller earlier on in the program was saying that, the minister was saying that it's hard for someone to go to the bank, get the money to buy a bus, and come and realize that they cannot fly a route or whatever, or the cost is like that. Now, there was a system in place that if you are going to buy a bus, you should make application first that you can get to a particular route before you purchase your bus.
Okay.
Right? And those are things that I think if they go back to the drawing board, they would see all those things have been formulated. That if they had followed that routine, they would not have ended up in the situation.
Okay.
That happened today.
All right. Thank you so much, caller.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contributions. Let's see. Let's go back to the social media. Somebody on Facebook says... There are routes with no transportation, none, after a certain time at night. The Transportation Commission should consider having transportation after hours, using tickets, not cash, in all communities. Somebody else on Facebook says, police has no right to walk away. He was on duty, took an oath of office to protect and serve. What the public complain about is besides the point. You have a job to do, period. And somebody points out on Facebook that the caller speaking about the hill that the elderly have to trips up is in relation to the terminal itself, because the Manjalu buses are on the upper level. Understood, writer, so thank you for that clarification. Let me go back to WhatsApp. Actually, somebody on Facebook is asking if there's still a practice of police officers receiving commission on their salary based on how much tickets they issue. I have no... I am not sure. I have no idea. Facebooker. Let me... WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I remember there were talks about buses stopping only on the stops to pick up passengers. This really needs to be looked at, because the buses are blocking customers from doing business by stopping anywhere and waiting on passengers. Even if the person is not going, they will stop and wait on the other person, and other people want to do business, but they don't seem to care. This needs to stop. And in addition, they're stopping in the middle of the road. They do not make the effort to pull over on the side of the road, because one, they're trying to block the other buses behind them, and then they want to be able to just zoom out when the passenger comes, and they don't have to wait to get a blight to go in the traffic. Boy, that thing does annoy me a lot. Sorry. All in others rant sometimes. That does annoy me. You're already inconveniencing us by not stopping at the bus stop, and you're stopping in the middle of the road because you don't want nobody to pass. Hold on. One day I'll go with that tail light. I will go with that tail light. Play with me. Let me see the phone ringing. Let me see if I have a caller. Good morning, caller. No? Okay, I think that was from the previous call. Somebody else on Facebook, not Facebook, WhatsApp. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, They should have buses running from the bus stop in Woodlands to Dusty Highway. Another WhatsApper says, Mr. Telesford referenced a minister saying that the government cannot stop people from doing legitimate businesses. If that is a term of reference to operate, then the Transport Commission is already a waste of time, and it's only another front to create position for party supporters, and at the same time deflect responsibility from the government of doing anything meaningful to allow home-based entrepreneurs from growing. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, my dear Blossom.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Salim. A good friend calling there. Now, system in place, I think nothing good in place, you know. There's nothing good in place to go forward right now. You have to start going up from zero, go back up again. From zero. Everything going ahead, that's skelter. People do what they want. We will last year, we don't obey laws, and we can't tame the older ones right now, bring them back to square one. You know, let's train the young ones. The young one, old one, been already, all kind of bad vibes in the head. They can't tame them at all. Now, the buses are in Grenada, nothing. You have buses in Grenada, but not a system in place. Grenada have a lot of buses, but there's no system in place. I know when I have a boy from St. Patrick coming to town. You have buses running from Saturday to town on a Sunday. It will be full pack. Western Road buses, very big buses in the days gone by. And we have more buses now in this time, and you have a bus running from Saturday to town. Imagine that. Not even one from Saturday to town on a Sunday coming to town on a Sunday. You get a bus from Grenada, maybe on Sunday, off and on, walk and thing. And one of them was going to live from Parak to go to town in the morning. And the busman tell me, do me a favor. I said, busman, you ain't ready to do me a favor. You walk my money. Other buses pack over, you walking. I said, you feel to walk. You walk and you get paid. You don't do no favor. But there's nothing in place in Grenada.
Okay.
Man walk up, bus, you want to walk, you park up in the park up, you care about nobody, you care who going go left or right or center, you care about that, you know. Government have buses on the road, government has a bus system on the road, walking 24/24.
Okay.
All the activity to keep the buses running 24/24. Grenada dead place, Crampy dead, Zungo place, you know.
Zungo. All right, thank you so much, caller.
Grenada cemetery.
All right, thank you. Zungu. Let me read one more comment I think I'll have time to read on the WhatsApp. There is a number 1 sticker buses that is competing with number 5 buses, which is not right. Time to look up this nonsense. To the passengers on the western side, let's support the sticker 5 buses and forget the sticker 1 buses on mornings, please. I'm begging. So there are number 1 buses competing with the number 5 buses on the western side of the island. Okay, and okay, this one is the final one. I agree with the caller on the need for after hours and holiday transport instead of all the buses running at the same time only in the day. Also, running off route can be beneficial as it can encourage developmental ideas. Feel free to yes, agreed with that, and that goes with something on Facebook. Somebody says develop the other parishes so that bus drivers would be able to work in the area where they live. And that's a good idea. Government should have a few buses on special routes for retired citizens only. That's a thought. Thank you so much for participating in Talk the Things Thursday. It's now time to join the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast. Have yourselves a productive, thankful Thursday. And I would see you, each and every one of you, again in a short. Bye-bye.